What's going on, good people? Welcome back. Team Sumner in the building here. Damon.
Victoria.
We're here. You know what it is. Summing up with the Summers. Another episode coming your way. We're jumping right into it today as well. Saying thank you guys again for just rocking with us here. We're excited. We got another one coming your way here today. Today we're talking about healthy habits in a relationship. All right? Healthy habits in a relationship. Before we do that, as always, we want to just shout out a few people who are rating and reviewing. We appreciate that. So let them know what we got going on this week for that rating review.
Yeah, so coming from Geno Smith 5005, 5 stars, titled Love the Sumners. Katoya and Damon are my favorite duo. Such a fun podcast. Give it a listen.
Boom.
Bam. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Ain't got to be long.
No, just the thought, and we appreciate it. I love being called duo. Takes us back to those marriage. We used to call ourselves the dynamic duo. I don't even know where we got that from.
I don't know where we got that from.
So funny.
We did. We had some other nicknames too, but that was one.
Dynamic duo.
Dynamic duo.
Yep. So shout out to you.
Appreciate you, Jen.
Calling it back.
Take 10 seconds, 30 seconds. It could be sweet as Jen right there. Nice and short. Nice and short for sure. We also want to appreciate everybody rocking with us on Patreon, Patreon. That's for the exclusive bonus content. And so we want to shout out a few people as well who's jumped on the bandwagon. Want to appreciate you, Adam Singletary, homie back in the day, Lance Simon, Anisha Thomas, our girl Krista holding it down from the Plumb Line days, Kwame, what's up, big dog, and Brittany Spear taking it back to the high school world. Listen.
This Patreon is like getting on Facebook, where you just connected to everyone in all kind of ways. Like, from all I need is shout out to an elementary school teacher or a teacher to pop up on our Patreon, because it's like a little bit from everywhere.
All worlds, for sure.
Yeah, which is really cool and amazing to see. So thank y'all so much.
Definitely. And last but not least, we just jumped into we got a Facebook group going right now, so consider joining that. That'll be in the show notes. We'll build a community over there. But that's it. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's go. Healthy habits in a relationship. So we've got some habits. You know, if you've been following along with us out here, 15 years together, 12 years married, couple continents, 3 kids, several moves. We've been doing a bit.
I'm tired. Just listening to that. I don't even know if it mattered over this span of that time. I'm tired, and I am physically tired too, y'all. So just FYI, if you're watching and you catch a couple yawns up in there, just to wish me well.
We pushing through. We pushing through for y'all. But let's get into it. Healthy habits. I think habits up top is something that is really important, right? When we talk about relationships, we've been talking about ways to do things that's going to, keep consistency in your relationship, to, make things more thriving, more dynamic. But a lot of times it's the small things. A lot of times it's the things that we're doing on the day in, day out. It's the things that we're doing, when we're tired, when we're, busy at work, the things that those small little moments, that kind of the glue, if you will, to really try to keep things going. So we just wanted to share some things that we've been doing. Again, as always, hopefully it's fine. It brings value and something that maybe leads to good conversation. So let's dive right into it. Off the top, one thing that, and there's been things a little crazy. Again, we moved recently. But we really enjoy doing weekly, bi-weekly, at the worst case scenario, monthly check-ins. That's a habit that we've done, I don't know, for the last few years. We kind of become more consistent with that. And so the weekly, what it looks like essentially is, let's say we say, Sundays, we're doing a weekly check-in, right? Before dinner, things are chill. We'll pull out the schedule. We'll pull out the budget. We'll sit at the table with the computers. This isn't nothing sexy. Damon
chose to start us out with this type of productive
type
of habit.
Yeah. That's how you jump into the podcast, babe. Production.
We want to check in.
Gotta have it, And so we get a chance to have conversations about the schedule. We get a chance to talk about, any trips happening, or things like that. We've been a one-car family since we've been a family. and that's been 12 years.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, about 15. Seriously, we've had one car since we've been together.
So the communication is really important,
Yeah.
right?
Which it does help. The fact that you have to share more things makes you have to be in more communication. So we are really good with knowing schedules and timing. And, I have this whole joke about, like, I have to be Damon to the calendar because he's so good at putting stuff on the calendar. People say, like, you want to hang out Friday? I don't know. I'm going to put it on the calendar. If I get there first, then maybe I could claim the time. And it's not really like a competition, but there's just, he will, especially pre-corona, okay? It was like, come to here. Well, I got this here, and then night. And I was like, oh, well, huh. And then I tried to do something. He's like, well, did you check the calendar? And I was like, all right, I got you. You in this calendar?
Let's be clear about this calendar.
You in this calendar?
Let's be clear about this calendar.
No, you in this calendar. I'm going to make sure I did. Look, I started just reserving time that didn't even, I ain't have none. Katoya, out.
Two things.
No plans.
To be very clear about this calendar. One is not a you put it on the calendar, nothing else can happen. Let's be very clear with that.
That's fair.
This is not when you were 7. Ooh, I'm gonna watch TV at 4, or I got the TV at 4:30.
I called 3 p.m.
This is not that. Okay.
Shout out to my cousins.
That's one. Two, the calendar is essential. We do have one calendar with all of our stuff on it, again, for communication.
But we have multiple calendars that we share digitally.
Yes.
Together,
and all this is important for communication. What do we preach? Communication, right? 1 car, 3 kids. We better be on top of it with a schedule.
We just gonna be failing left and right. I mean, and sometimes it looks like that,
yes.
but for the most part, we try our very best.
2, she brought up her time here. I'm pro anybody having her time.
It's true.
So let that be clear. I just want to make sure that
These
was clear
things
as you're listening
not
to this.
True.
Okay.
It's just I don't know. I do feel like I have to race to the calendar.
There's no race to the calendar. I enjoy the calendar usage more than you.
Yeah, because I'm more sporadic. I'm more of a free spirit.
Yeah, free spirit.
I don't need everything planned. You want to do something right now tonight?
Yeah.
Just call me.
We can, unless it's on the calendar.
See,
and then we can't. So anyway, the weekly check-ins are important just to make sure you're on the same page. Yeah. I think that's been a really good habit for us.
Yeah, I'd agree, and I think it'd be helpful. And in talking to other couples, they're like, "Man, y'all share a calendar?" Oh my, like things like that. But and you don't have to share all the details, right? I mean, you just like what matters to the essential of everyone. Like he doesn't need to know my meeting, doing my work.
No, don't care.
That's unnecessary.
Right.
I'm at work.
Mm-hmm. Period. I'm out. Period.
So that doesn't matter, but it does help for sure. Those weekly check-ins, and they're not just on a productive level of a calendar, but just on a check-in. How are you doing? How are you feeling? What's up? What's changing? You said this last week. Just kind of like you would if you were to call an old friend or a friend. It's like, hey, what's up? How you doing? But doing that intentionally with your spouse, because you live side by side. Or whatever, you kind of tend to lose track of that. That just intentionality on a, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
How many times do you really ask your spouse, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you probably don't, because you've already assumed you know how they're doing because you live together or you're with them every day. It's just, it loses some intentionality. So I think that's a really good habit to just check in and just how are you doing and what's an update or and it shows you're a good listener too.
Yeah, I mean all that combined are just great healthy habits. There, being a great listener, right, listening to each other's heart. You know what I mean? Like that's a big thing to say, but like really those moments of, because so much throughout the day, and maybe I don't know what your pandemic world is looking like right now, or if you're listening to this in the pandemic, I hope you're not, but you probably are. But like, we're just constantly moving and doing, and whether you got kids or whether you're doing extracurricular activities, whatever the case may be, just those moments to pause, slow down, to be intentional with this time. It's not necessarily, I mean, you could have these conversations during the date night, but sometimes that production and that work flows in, and we try to keep that separate on date night. Like we try not to talk kids, talk work on the date nights and things like that. So these moments here are just really to kind of just open up for dialogue about whatever and let the conversation go. And, just really like, how, I think you brought up a good point. You was like, hey, we didn't really talk about maybe what you said last week or maybe how I said, but like, this is a space here, right? Creating those spaces to have honest conversation, have vulnerable conversation is a healthy habit that is, I think, specifically in the times that we definitely are kind of all trying to push through right now, so beneficial. So
Yeah, I would agree with that.
yeah,
That's kind of two there.
yeah,
But checking in, listening,
mm-hmm.
and communication. And then, let's say, I think that rolls into that awareness of the day's load.
Mm.
I didn't have another way to really put that, but when you know how, uh, it, I've had some big things happening, and the fact that Damon knows what they mean to me, knows that this might stress me out, or this is a week where mom needs a moment because she's really giving energy this way. It means a lot because what's happening is now the family, unfortunately, but graciously can adjust because I need a little extra support, a little extra space or distance so that I can wrap my head around a couple things. So I think that's important to know, like stressors or big meetings or presentations or shows or whatever, and to know how everyone handles their stress
Mm-hmm.
because the way I handle mine is not the way Damon does. So he might not need all of what I need in order to feel comfortable, but that's the beauty in knowing each other, is that we can say, hey, this, whew, you need a little moment, you
Mm-hmm.
good, let me, like Damon's so good at this, like I'll take the kids, you have the whole evening, it's midweek, but that means so much because he just left work too, so the kids have been in school all day, so it's nice to say that the habit of that I'm trying to say is that just being aware so that you can like serve your spouse better.
Yeah, the awareness is so important just because I think you hit it on the head when you're talking about ways to just come alongside and serve and love your boo better. The awareness to just really kind of dial in. This is a time for me to either step away or for them to step out, or whether it's like, hey, I know that you've been saying a lot about, you feel like you've been doing these chores too much and nobody's really been helping out or whatever the case may be. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you can got two or three things you could put into that blank. So the healthy habit of listening and being aware, but then also doing something about it. And so I do, try to be aware of that and then, support. And usually it's, giving you space to kind of handle. So he's been doing some big projects in 2020. And so trying to give some space for that and vice versa, whether it's me just being literally just being out at shows more, in the old world or whatever the case may be for the person. It's just something that is really beneficial because it just can help alleviate some of the stress and some of the angst that they may be feeling, right? And so by not being oblivious and just, everyone's tired, everyone's overworked, we all got that. But the mentality and the habit of working that muscle of constantly just being aware to be like, all right, let me see what I can do. Let me try to walk in some more understanding, acts of service. Shout out to Love Languages. Love Languages, check that out. Is really important. So I think that's definitely something that we've tried to do over the years. Is
Yeah,
just be aware and serve.
absolutely.
What else?
Another one
Go
I
ahead.
would think would be beginning and ending the day together. It kind of ties right into that.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts around that one?
Listen, I like the beginning, end of the day. In a sense of what I try to do is that we're gonna wake up. We kind of have a moment, right? Just brief moments to end to kind of be the bookmarks of the day, right? So before we get up and we get breakfast going and the coffee's brewing and boom boom we tying shoes. Well, we're gonna tie shoes no more. But
That's what you back
before.
up on.
Facts.
They got those illusion tie shoes.
Yes,
They
yes,
say
yes.
they got shoestrings, but they really zipper and
Some
Velcro.
some ain't got shoes.
Listen, if your kids ain't got that and they can't tie, don't send them to first grade.
Side note.
That's a former teacher talking.
But the bookmarks of just really saying, okay, just have a quick moment in here to start the day together, and then definitely on the back end, hopefully you have some chance to relax and kick your feet up before you close your eyes and fade off the dream world. Again, you have those moments at the end of the day.
Dream world.
Yeah.
Yeah, nope, it's true. Just begin and then I think that that just kind of developed what we've been talking, but that how are you doing? Good morning.
Mm-hmm.
That intentionality for small things that we do to others, but maybe lose that
Mm-hmm.
in our relationship because we are with that person. I can't stress that enough. Like, it just becomes like second nature. Like, I know how you doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Good morning. How you sleep? I knew you slept all right. I watched you. I saw you.
I
Like,
was looking at you sleep.
yeah, yeah. And you seem to sleep good because when the kids woke up, you didn't. So you slept good.
Mm. Real good.
That's funny.
Too good.
But it's like, no, let's still ask those things. And I think that does keep some friendship and genuine care in our relationships.
All right, next one we want to dig into here is touch points throughout the day. Now, this one is really big if you've been going strong for a while, just because when you're dating, you know what I'm saying, and everything high, the fire's popping, things you talking, you texting throughout the day.
My face is
As
like this. Maybe even if you're just young.
Sure,
Girl.
sure. Or even just young in your relationship, right? Just young in relationship.
Yeah.
Because you could be, you know what I'm saying? You could be seasoned but young in that thing. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And so either way, butterflies going, whatever case may be, you just texting and just talking, you laugh. that tries to fade. You gotta kinda fight for that. So touch points in trying to touch throughout the day, primarily, through text, maybe a call at lunch, whatever the case may be, look like for you and your boo thing. Is beneficial. Now, I'll speak for myself and say that this has been an area of growth over time here for sure. But it's something that I know that is important to Katoya, so it's something that I try to be more intentional of. And I think, again, at the end of the day, it helps one continue to fight for our friendship and for our relationship. And so, yeah, that's just one thing that we just continue to try to work on as a habit of just make sure we're just touching throughout the day.
Yeah.
I ain't seen you in like 10 hours.
Little text, little hey, little send me a funny tweet, little whatever. Just a little hey. I got a moment I want to share with you when you're not in my face.
Mm-hmm.
And because I like to share moments with you.
Yeah.
And it benefits him very greatly in the evening. So.
Don't laugh at that. That's not. Nothing funny.
Anyway. Okay. So yeah, touch points throughout the day. Another good habit would just be the post work moments and the end of the day recaps. So since we do utilize one car, we're all kind of typically together when we can be. So this even includes our kids, but we just kind of go in a full circle. How was your day? Now the day isn't over, but the biggest chunk of the day, whether it's school or work, is over. So how was that? And so the kids share. We all take turns listening. Their personalities shine through on who's gonna share what. In our family, we don't just was some high and low so that they can kind of get a general idea of what to kind of discuss. And then we take turns doing that for the adults and the kids, and that allows for everyone to listen and know what's going on and really, really practice listening to other people's days and making sure that we're being considerate of each other. So I think it's a good thing to do in just as a family, of just you and your partner, and then also as a whole family to just how are we doing. Now we typically can do that in a car, and if we haven't been in a car all day, then we'll do that at dinner. But just let's talk about our day as a family.
Yeah. Bonus tip for the parents specifically is what we like to do is we'll send everybody to their room. We all get in the house before we get to activities, before we get to dinner and showers. Our kids go to the room, and then we like to and usually it's just us laying in the bed with our shoes on, and we just have a moment together.
Oh yeah, we try to steal as many moments with them as possible.
You gotta steal moments. Listen to me, parents. If you're not doing this right here, this is a big one here. This is a bonus right here.
Yeah.
Go to your room before everything gets crazy. We pulling out puzzles. We going outside. We going to the park. Everybody come from school. Put your backpack. Everybody go to their room for a few minutes, and we just
wind down for a second.
We just chill for a minute.
Get your 30 minutes.
We just chill right there for a moment.
If it's possible.
Take 10, take 12, whatever you can
get.
Shoes
off, cuddle for a second.
And if you ain't got kids, sure, that's the same thing too. Y'all both come to the house before we get into the conversation and yada yada yada.
Give me a moment to wind down. Let me
sit on the deck for a second.
Let me drink a tea.
Ooh.
Or whatever you need to do.
That's it. That's all I want to say. Sometimes you got to steal those moments right there.
It's true.
For sure.
Well, it makes me think of I said like cuddle or whatever, but you should be kissing. Kiss a little. Kiss a little of a lot more in your day.
Listen to me. Bonus 20, we're talking about sex. I know people are excited about this. I already got messages. Listen to me though. Before we get there, okay, I want to say that I saw an article that had a stat from last year, which is pretty much this year, that said that the average couple kisses the average
3 years.
couple the average couple kisses 11 times a week. Are y'all listening to me?
That is kind of bad.
11 times a week. That ain't good. That is not enough. We said this a few weeks ago. Time is the enemy of all relationships. Not just you throw a title on marriage. No. Marriage or not. Time just tries to wear down on everything. 11 times there's 7 days in a week.
That's because you didn't say good morning, how you doing?
seven times in a week.
Keep it simple.
7 times. That's 7 days in a week. That's what I'm trying to say. 11 times a week. We gotta kiss more.
Yeah,
gotta keep fighting for that.
That article, and you did say that article didn't include like good morning.
It didn't include those. So if you included those good morning
but
and good night
it must
pecks,
not also include intimacy either.
I don't think so. But that's a whole nother conversation. Because I don't think people be kissing too much during that time. So
getting the business.
Yeah, get straight to it here. So kissing more is a healthy habit. Try to kiss. Goes back to kind of still in those moments too, right? Yeah. We got to kiss more. That's a healthy habit. We have our ups and downs here, but we get some kisses in throughout the day. Do it. Gotta kiss more.
I don't want you to have lipstick for the video.
There we go.
Anyway, eating dinner together is important. And sharing a meal as often as possible. And dinner is just kind of that. Is it possibly the easiest if you can get in breakfast or surprise your spouse for a nice lunch or coordinate that? Excellent. But whatever works. So there's something about. I think even a breakfast or dinner is even more special. It would be for us because that's more rare to achieve, but. Sitting and having dinner, just gathering around a meal is a good habit.
Yeah, I mean, we're just moving so much. I think that's just important. Just, and ideally, you're trying to do it without the screen on, right? Ideally, so we can just have a conversation, right? You know what I'm saying? Kids or no kids, like you just get a chance to talk about whatever, laugh. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, like having meals together is just a healthy habit just for that connection. And so that's just something that we really just try to fight for is time. That's just one thing that I feel like you can't get back. That's something that we sometimes we take for granted. You know what I mean? And so having those meals together, especially if you're talking about Monday through Friday, weekends, whatever the case may be. But throughout the week, usually dinner is the only one. If you can get breakfast in the morning with your family, fantastic. And if you get a lunch, first off, I see you. Number two, you know what I'm saying?
With your old flex,
if you get a surprise lunch, that's foreplay in this house. That's what that is right there. That's a surprise lunch. You got me the prison tacos?
Prison tacos.
All right. Okay. I got you here. Which benefits her later on. So, anywho.
Oh, you trying to tell me that again?
Listen. This is an honest podcast. I digress, though. Fight for having meals together, for sure.
It's true.
I want to go back to the kids for a second here. And this is for men, for women, for husbands, for wives, whatever. But tag team the kids. This is something that... It was on. Something happened on Twitter a few weeks ago. I don't know. Something's always happened on Twitter. But it was this long story short. It was this TV show, and it was this husband who just didn't think it was a thing. I could do a whole episode on this by myself. It made me upset.
Or a bit.
He did not think it was his responsibility to really to do much for the kids because he was the provider. We ain't got enough time.
I'm just happy I have a husband who understands how that is such a big problem.
It's dumb. That's what it is. It's trash. That's what it is. So tag teaming the kids, both man and woman here, just in a sense of just figured and specifically, specifically with just helping. But here's the other one here. When and when you can hear and sense your boo in a entanglement with the kid, right? Frustration's high. whenever Katoya might hear my voice raise, she's like, all right, tap out for a second. Go ahead and tap out. Just go ahead. Go ahead. Come here. Grace, come here for a second. Right? Or I know she's at her wit's end with one of the kiddos, if not everybody, because they complaining or whatever the case may be. I slide on in there. I either come in, I lay the hammer, or I take it and change the whole direction. Got to tag team the kids.
Yeah, it ain't nobody one responsibility to be taking care of children. And I do think that's just, like, on the tag team, it's like, ooh, like, I think about single moms a lot. I mean, not single moms, stay-at-home moms. Because you're technically at home all day with your kids.
All day.
Especially in this time. And then your husband's been at work all day. So now what happens?
Ooh, that.
Yes, and that's where there's that, it kind of brings away the awareness of the day's load. It's talking about tagging the kids. Like, you still need a moment to, like, breathe and to get away. So that's just I really hope that spouses are being considerate in that way.
Yeah, and that's just, just to stand on that specific lifestyle, family style for a moment here. That communication is crucial.
Yeah.
Like, if you feel like y'all are doing well with that, fantastic. But if you feel like that transition, like, because I'm coming home working hard, you've been working hard, so what does that look like? You know what I mean?
It ain't got nothing to do with who bringing money.
No.
It's just mental weight. And
you stay home with 2 kids under 5 for a week and just talk about money if you want to.
Yeah.
So
let's switch then.
Go ahead, please. I'll go work with adults. I'll work in a cubicle. I'll do whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it does weigh. So just listening and understanding the load a lot. I know many people have figured that out. But it's important because everybody needs some sanity. So share them kids, tag them kids.
Tag them in, tag them out.
Yep, absolutely.
Tag them in, tag them out.
What else we got here? Oh, enjoying an activity together as often as you can. So even if it's Netflix and chill, watching that one episode you love, reading that book, and coming back for dialogue on that. Just enjoying in some activity together that can, like, be light.
Yeah. We've always taken pride in the fact that we like to have fun individually and also collectively. You know what I mean? Like, that's just something that has been a staple for our relationship, for our friendship, since we've been doing this thing 15 years.
Oh my gosh, I think it's like 3 times.
I want them to know.
In one episode.
I want you to know. You know what I'm saying? I want you to know. So anywho, with that being said, like, we've done a variety of things. I mean, we've created pottery. What was that? A plant? We did some painting. We got a whole little plate right here in our house somewhere that we just created. You know what I'm saying? We've done physical activities together, right? Whatever it is for you, find things. If you don't feel like we got anything besides TV or whatever the case may be,
we definitely challenge you to do something different.
Definitely challenge you to do something
different. Or
different.
go out the box and do a documentary, or like to watch something different. Maybe something off your beaten path.
Right. Sure. Even in that's true. Because sometimes it can lead to more dialogue or discussion with that in general.
Good TV brings good convo.
That's for sure. Ooh, look at the flowers. Anyway, I gotta stay focused here. That was a tangent for some Walking Dead fans.
If anybody got that.
But no, it is important. That is a habit that will just continue to just create the spontaneity. I think that's a piece of the puzzle right here. But also just to, as you said, just keep things light. So it's not just work. It's not just bills. It's not just kids. It's not just, but it's just fun. Hey, just beat your boo and face 10. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just whatever it is.
What you're saying, I beat your boo. And I was like, what?
I got it. Saying? I'm a professional, man. I'm a professional podcaster. You know what I'm saying? Sit out on the porch, listen to music, drink some wine, whatever the case may be. But find those times. Find those times.
It is true. And compliment. We've talked about that, but just, it's just like saying good morning to me. It's just like, hey, all right, you look nice today, or whatever. I just we have to remember to treat our partners in a way that's almost like we're not with them every day. And it's just, you start feeling like all of that just every day. I know I got you, and you lose some of those things. And like you said, that goes with time and chaos and just the everyday life. But to just stop and say, you look beautiful today. Oh, I like your hair. Oh, you got your eyebrows done. Oh man, you look so good. Oh girl, wear them shoes. "Ooh boy, look at you! All right, handsome. Oh, trim your face up. All right,
Mm.
man, fresh cut, new hair, do you? Any of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we lose some of that. We lose it. We lose that over time.
I
Just
mean, I'm gonna say we lose some of that. I know we can't be the only ones. I seen it. All right, you lose it. Everybody be losing that.
yes, yes, facts.
We are speaking generically for everyone.
Yes, we are. We are speaking for you. And that wasn't clear. We're speaking for you. We
Yes,
got you.
it does happen.
It happens. And so like just those compliments, I mean it's really again it's a big circle, but that awareness, but just also like the compliments and the encouragement of just physical, just people leveling up and doing things around the house.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody gets a promotion. Like, don't just let things go by unnoticed, unsaid. Get them roses out, yo. Give the flowers out now. You know what I
Even
mean?
physically.
Yes.
To bring some flowers home.
Bring the flowers on. They look good.
Not
They
just
smell
metaphorically,
good.
just do something.
Yes, yes. Those all matter. With the fresh fade out here. Oh, appreciate you, boy, here doing it. Whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
It all goes a long way.
Absolutely.
It all goes a long way.
And then last is just doing, I don't know, whatever spiritual connection you and your spouse could do, whether that be praying together, journaling, doing some type of mindful meditation, wherever you are in that. But spending, I mean, we need to make sure we're creating habits that are well for us physically, mentally,
spiritually,
and
socially,
emotionally.
all
Yeah.
that.
So I do believe, like, classical family that prays together stays together. But to
Prays
really,
together, stays together.
but to really come, whatever that looks like for you, prayer in the Lord's Word, whatever you need to do to connect on a spiritual level with you and your partner, it's going to be so meaningful. And when you connect spiritually, then that elevates you to a whole nother, out of this kind of everyday experience of life, to now you're connected more emotionally too.
I remember meeting this couple. It was a couple years ago. I think it was a comic. Long story short, they were journal. This is a classic thing. I feel like I've seen it. I've heard it more on a parent-kid level actually, and teacher-student level here, where they journaled and then they
Gave it to
the other person.
I know that from teacher.
Yeah. And so whatever it is for you all, but that the spiritual side, the emotional side, that all ties apart. We're talking about holistically here, right? These healthy habits, it's beneficial. As much as the fun comes, or physical intimacy and work. But the spiritual piece also another part of the puzzle that plays together. And then at the end of the day, it's still about connection. It's still going to be back to communication. It's still going to continue to build about, just building just a stronger foundation as a unit of one, right? So, yeah, I think those were, I don't know, I didn't keep track of how many that was.
Nah, we didn't have a number.
we didn't come in with like, these are the 12 things.
Nah,
but
it's just some things we thought about.
We did want to share some habits, though, that I think specifically, we're recording this in 2020. There's so much going on, and again, the habits are going to be hopefully something that kind of keeps the glue, keeps the foundation strong in the midst of chaos, in the midst of turmoil. Hopefully that if outside your house, hopefully in your house, some of these habits can continue to bring about life, joy, a breath of fresh air, amidst all that.
Yeah.
So let us know. Let us know if there's any one that really resonates with you. Let them know if you're like, yo, I ain't never thought about this. Whatever the case may be. But maybe hopefully it brought value. Hopefully you enjoyed it. As always, rate and review. Take a few seconds to do that, just like Jen. Appreciate you, Jen, again. Check out the private Facebook group. That'll be in the show notes. And consider rocking with us on Patreon for exclusive bonus episodes, all that jazz. Damon Katoya, we appreciate y'all. Talk soon.